First priest, present thy registry. Kananya, Banya Hawada, Banya Shala.
Kananya, Banya Hawada, Banya Shala.
Yahweh Shem Yahshua Brakatham.
Yahweh Shem Yahshua Brakatham.
Sir. So at the front. Salute. La Yashala. Yahweh Shem Brakatham. Men of Israel, Amalgam, upon Yaquadam, which means turn to face the east. The Lord's Prayer in Hebrew, you can find it in Matthew chapter 6, verses 9 to 13. Abanaw, Shabbat Shemayim,
Shabbat Shemayim,
Kodash,
Kodash,
Hayah,
Hayah,
Shemka,
Shemka,
Yahweh, Alakwaka,
Malakwaka,
Taba'ah,
Taba'ah,
Ratazaka,
Ratazaka,
Hayah,
Hayah,
Aisha,
Aisha,
Ratazah,
Ratazah,
Kawah,
Kawah,
Hayah,
Hayah,
Shemayim,
Shemayim,
Nathanaw,
Nathanaw,
Lakom, Call, Yawam, Wasalakanaw,
Wasalakanaw,
Kabawatnaw,
Kabawatnaw,
Kasalaknaw,
Kasalaknaw,
Kabawatinaw,
Kabawatnaw,
Wala'ah, Tabiyanaw,
Tabiyanaw,
Banasawan,
Banasawan,
Abal,
Abal,
Habshanaw,
Habshanaw,
Mayan,
Mayan,
Right,
Kaya,
Laka,
Malakwa,
Malakwa, Wa'ala, Wahata Parak, La'ulam,
Aman,
in English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name,
hallowed be thy name,
thy kingdom come,
thy kingdom come,
thy will be done,
thy will be done
in earth, as it is in heaven.
As it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread.
Give us this day our daily bread.
Forgive us our debts.
And forgive us our debts.
As we forgive our debtors.
As we forgive our debtors.
Lead us not to temptation.
And lead us not to
But
temptation.
deliver us from evil.
And deliver us from
For
evil.
thine is the kingdom.
For thine is the
And
kingdom.
the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory.
Forever.
Forever.
So be it.
So be it.
Pray for the Hakak, the power and evil. Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Babakashah.
Babakashah.
Nathanaw.
Nathanaw.
Hakak.
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 Larapa'ah.
Larapa'ah.
Kal Makalah.
Kal Makalah.
Kal Madawa.
Kal Madawa.
Hakak.
Hakak.
Lahat. Slaki. Latahar.
Latahar.
Hamatazarain.
Hamatazarain.
Hakak.
Hakak.
Lahakwi.
Lahakwi.
Hamathi.
Hamathi.
Hakak.
Hakak.
Al-Rakwa.
Al-Rakwa.
Hatama'ala.
Hatama'ala.
Agarsham.
Agarsham.
Hashem Yahushua.
Hashem Yahushua.
Wadaman.
Wadaman.
In English, Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Please give us the power.
Please give us the power.
Power to heal all manner of sickness.
Power to heal all manner of sickness.
And all manner of disease.
And all manner of disease.
Power to cleanse the lepers.
Power to cleanse the lepers.
Power to raise the dead.
Power to raise the dead.
Power against unclean spirits.
The power against unclean spirits.
To cast them out.
To cast them out.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you so big.
Thank you so big.
Pray to bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Baraklanah.
Baraklanah.
Yashala.
Yashala.
Mahabayah.
Mahabayah.
Shapari.
Shapari.
Barak.
Barak.
Shem Yahushua.
Shem Yahushua.
Wadaman.
Wadaman.
In English, Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Bless us and Yashala.
Bless us and Yahushua.
In the school.
In the school.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you so big.
Thank you so big.
Psalms 121 in the Hebrew, Asha'ah,
Asha'ah,
Ayanya,
Ayanya,
Ahahari,
Ahari,
Mayan,
Mayan,
Yaba'ah,
Yaba'ah,
Azari,
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 Ma'ayin,
Ma'ayin,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Aisha,
Aisha,
Shamayam,
Shamayam,
Warataza,
Warataza,
Yatan,
Yatan,
Lamawak,
Lamawak,
Argolka,
Lagar,
Yanawam,
Yanawam,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Hana,
Hana,
La'ah,
La'ah,
Yanawam,
Yanawam,
Wala'ah,
Wala'ah,
Yashan,
Yashan,
Shawamar,
Shamar,
Yashala,
Yashala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Tazalka,
Tazar,
Ayad,
Ayad,
Yamyaka,
Yamika,
Yawamam,
Yawamam,
Hashmash,
Hashmas,
La'ah,
La'ah,
Kaka,
Kaka,
Wayirah,
Yahweh,
Walayala,
Walayala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashmarka,
Yashmarka,
Makarai,
Yahweh,
Yashmar,
Yashmar,
Athnapashka,
Ashkapasi,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashmar,
Yashmar,
Kazaath,
Yazah,
Wabawaka,
Wabawaka,
Maitha,
Maitha,
Bai,
Right,
Babulam.
Allah.
In English, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills.
I will lift up my eyes to the
From
hills.
whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from Yahweh,
My help comes from
which
Yahweh,
made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be
He
moved.
that keepeth thee will not slumber.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Yashala
he that keepeth Yahweh
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
But Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all
He
evil.
shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
Yahweh shall preserve thy going
and
out
thy coming in.
and thy coming
From
in.
this time forth
From this time forth,
and even forevermore.
and even forevermore.
Psalms 83 in the Hebrew, Alahayim,
Allahayim,
Adam Yalaka,
Adam Yalaka,
Al Tacharach,
Alta Srach,
Wal Tashquak,
Alta Squash,
Oh, Kayahana,
Kahana,
Wadika,
Wadika,
Hama Yawan,
Hallelujah,
Wamashanayaka,
Umashanayaka,
Shawa Ra'ash,
Sarah Rach,
Al-Aimaka,
Alayim,
Yarayamu,
Yarayam,
Sawa,
Sawa,
Waya,
Waya,
the Ya Aitazawa,
the Yatazawa,
Altaza Pawanyaka,
Alta Zawamaka,
Amaru,
Amaru,
Lakua,
Lakra,
Wanakahidam,
Wayakashidam,
Magawi,
Magali,
Wala'a,
Wala'a,
Watakar,
Yashkar,
Sham Yashala,
Yashala,
Iwa,
Yarawa,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Nawa Aitazawa,
Yatazawa,
La,
La,
Yekharu,
Garu,
Ayika,
Ayika,
Arya,
Warya,
Akarafu,
Yashrash,
Ahalia,
Yahali,
Adawam,
Adawam,
Waya Shemai Aliyam,
Waya Shemai Aliyam,
Mawab,
Mala'ab,
Bagari,
Wagari,
Ball,
Gabal,
Wamuwan,
Wamawan,
Wamalak,
Wamalat,
Pashat,
Pashat,
Amishabi,
Amishabi,
Tazawar,
Tazawar,
Yam Ashawar,
Gamashawar,
Nalawat,
Nalawat,
Imam,
Aiman,
Hayawat,
Hayawat,
Zarawat,
Zarawat,
Labanya Lawat,
Labani Lawat,
Salat,
Shalah,
Aisha Laham,
Aisha Laham,
Kamani,
Kamani,
Kasiyah Sara'ah,
Kaji'ah,
Kayabian,
Kayabi,
Banachal,
Banakal,
Yashwan,
Yashmar,
Yashmagu,
Yashmar,
Bayan the Ara,
Rayan Abra,
Hayawat,
Hayawat,
Daman,
Daman,
Dam,
Adam,
Shatamu,
Yadamu,
Dayab Muwa,
Yadamu,
Kaira,
Kaira,
Wakazab,
Wakazab,
Wakazaba,
Wakazab,
Wakazalmanai,
Wakazalmanai,
Kal Nasakamu,
Karna Shakamu,
Ashar,
Ashar,
Amaru,
Amaru,
Nairusha,
Yairusha,
Lanawa,
Lanawa,
Nawa,
Nawa,
Alahayim,
Alahayim,
Alahaya,
Alahaya,
Shartamu,
Shatamu,
Galgula,
Gala,
Kwash,
Kakash,
Lapanya,
Yabar,
Rauka,
Yaraka,
Kaash,
Kaash,
Saba Ira, Yaira,
Ira,
Wakalahaba,
Wakalaha,
Kalaha, Aryam,
Ayam,
Kantar Datmu,
Yanda Dabu,
Basairuka,
Basahir,
Wabasu Bupatka,
Yanda Shabash,
Tabalaham,
Kalaham,
Mala'a,
Mala'a,
Abanyaham,
Alaham,
Walawan,
Wayawan,
Wayabakwashwa,
Yabashwa,
Shamka,
Shaka,
Yahaw,
Yahaw,
Yabashwa,
Yabash,
Wayabahalwa,
Wayabahal,
Adi Ai,
Adi,
Wayakaparwa,
Wayabahal,
Wayabadwa,
Wayabahal,
Wayadaiwa,
Wayadaiwa,
Kayatha,
Yada,
Shamka,
Shaka,
Yahaw,
Yahaw,
Baka,
Bashka,
Aliyawan,
Alawan, Kal,
Araptazah. In English, keep not thy silence, O God.
Keep not thy silence, O
Hold
God.
not thy peace.
Hold not thy
Be
peace.
not still, O God.
Be not still, O God.
For lo,
For lo,
thine enemies make the tumult.
thy enemies make a tumult.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
And and consulted against our hidden
They
ones.
said,
They have said,
come,
come,
and let us cut them off from being a nation.
and let us cut them off from this nation.
That the name of Yahshua
That the name of Yahshua
may be no more in remembrance.
may be no more remembered.
But they have consulted together with one consent.
For they consulted together with one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against
The
thee.
tabernacles of Edom,
The tabernacle
and the Ishmaelites,
and Israelites
of Moab,
of Moab,
the Hagarines,
and Hagarenes,
Gabal,
Gabal,
and Ammon,
and
Amalek,
and Amalek,
the Philistines,
the Philistines,
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
Assur also is joined with them.
Assur also joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Salah.
Salah.
Doing to them is unto the Midianites.
Doing to them is unto the Midianites.
As to Sisera,
As to Sisera,
as to Jabin,
as to
at
Jabin,
the brook of Kishon,
as the butcher you saw,
which perished at Endor.
that perished in
They
Endor.
became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like Oreb,
Make their nobles like Oreb,
and like Zeed,
and like Zed.
yea,
Yea,
all the princes as Sabbath,
all the princes of
and
Sabbath,
as Almun,
and as Amun,
who said,
who said,
let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession.
let us take to ourselves the house of God in possession.
On my power,
All my power,
make them like the wheel,
make them like the wind,
as the stubble before the wind,
as the stone before the
as
wind,
the fire burneth the wood,
as the fire burneth the wood,
and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
and as the flame set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them with thy tempest,
So persecute them with thy tempest,
and make them afraid with thy
and
storm.
make them afraid of thy storm.
Fill the faces with shame,
Fill their faces with shame,
they may seek thy name.
that they may seek thy name.
Yahweh,
O Yahweh,
let them be confounded in trouble forever.
let them be confounded in trouble forever.
Yea,
Yea,
let them be put to shame and perish.
let them be put to shame and perish.
That men may know that thou,
That men may know that thou,
whose name alone is Yahweh,
whose name alone is
art
Yahweh,
the Most High
art the Most High
over all the earth.
over all the earth.
Pray for the power structure in Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh, Yahweh Shai.
Barakatah Yahweh, Yahweh Shai.
Ameaka'ala.
Barakatah
Wala Hayim.
Yahweh.
Matazab Ya'ala Wap Yahana.
Yahweh, Yahweh,
Hala Wapyam.
Yahweh,
Hasaranyam.
Hasaranyam,
Patazayanyam.
Quatazayah,
Hachayayalium.
Akarayah,
Maha Fathian.
Quatazayah,
Yahweh.
Yahweh,
Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Hashem Yahushua,
Wadaman.
Tawaman.
In English, bless you Yahweh.
Blessed Yahweh,
And Yahweh Shai.
and the Yahushua,
And Michael.
and Michael,
And the angels.
and the angel,
Commanding General Yahana.
the general
The
Yahweh,
generals.
the general,
Captain.
the captain,
The officers.
the officers,
The troopers.
the troop,
And the sisters.
and the sister.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahushua,
Thank you so big.
thank you so big.
So I confront. You shot me. Be seated. Shalom Israel, Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatham to the brothers, Yahweh Shamar Latan Bashem Yahushua to the sisters. We are the ISUPK, the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge, established in 1969, 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We are led by Commanding General Yana. We're not affiliated with any other organization. Israel pay you tithes. We got Hanukkah coming up, or the Feast of Dedication, December 25th at sundown.
That's
That falls on a Wednesday. You can find this in the book of the Maccabees and hear about that story and many others that helped shape the culture of Israel. We are ISUPK Milwaukee, coming to you live with today's Sabbath service. We are in Genesis chapter 33. We starting at verse 1 all the way through chapter 35, verse 18. Shalom to everybody joining in. Shout out to Priest Officer 5000, Madabar, and his amazing family, his rib, Nazamana, the water sis for checking in today. So we are going to start in Genesis. Whenever you're ready, let them know where you're at. Kick it off.
Say it when you kick it.
Yeah.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 33, verse 1. Nah, that's not I'm supposed to say these two letters too.
That's just 33.
Oh, okay. Wayasha. Yeah, Quab. Quab.
Yeah, Quab, that's Jacob in Hebrew.
Niyah. Yenah. Niyah. Wait. Nayak. Not Yawa. Yeah.
If you're giving them that. A young you
A young Noah. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, you're Well, Hana.
Wahana.
Wahana. I thought Aishawa. Ba'ath. I mean, Ba'ah. What I'm a I rabbi. I rabbi. 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 R. I rabbi.
I'll rabbi.
I'll rabbi.
It's like can you make sure that door is shut? And if you could have somebody turn on the volume a little bit if the door is shut.
Wa. Yash. Yash. What? Yeah.
What?
Well, yeah. Khatza.
We got this out. We got a captain by that name.
Well, yeah. Khatza. Ath. Hayol. Diyum.
Hayaladium. Hayaladium.
Hyliadium.
Hayaladium.
Hyaladium. Isle. Lah. Slaki. La.
La.
Isle. La. Isle. Rachol. Ra'il. Salaki. Wa'il. The ya. Hashap. Kawaf. Verse 2.
Just like for time's sake, clap it up for the brother. Just for time's sake, we got a lot to go through. Verse 2. While you're shown. Hashapakawa. Wa'af. Yalad Yahan. Rashana. Wa'af. La'af. Wa Yalad Ya. Acharanyum. Wa'af. Rachol. Wa'af. Yawsa. Acharanyum. Verse 3. Wahua. Abba. Lapanyaham. Wayashatak. Slaki. Yeah. Wayashatakwa. Arataza. Shabai. Paimiyam. Ai. Geshatwa. Ai. Akiwa. Verse 4. While you rataza. Ai shwa. La Quarathwa. Waya Khabak. Waya Khabak Wahawa. Waya Paul. Ai. Tazawa Ariwa. Waya Shakwahwa. Waya Bakwa. Verse 5. Waya Sha'a. Ayanywa. Waya Ra'a. Anashim. Wa'a. Haladium. Waya Mar. Maya. Allah. Laka. Waya Mar. Haladium. Ashar. Hanan. Alahayim. Barak. Verse 6. Watagishan. Hashapahwa, Hana, Wayaladiyahum, with the Shathahwayan. Verse 7. Wathagash, Gam, La'ah, Wayaladia. Waya Shathahwawa. Wa'achar, Nagan. It's like in Nagash. Wayasa. It's like Yawasa. Warakal. Wayashathahwawa. All right, that's those 7 in Hebrew. Read it back into the English. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 33, verse 1. And Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau came, and with him 400 men. And he divided the children unto Leah, and unto Rachel, and unto the 2 handmaids. Verse 2. And he put the handmaids and their children foremost, and Leah and her children after, and Rachel and Joseph hindermost. Verse 3. And he passed over them and bowed himself to the ground 7 times until he came near to his brother. Verse 4. And Esau ran to meet him and embraced him and fell on his neck and kissed him, and they wept. Verse 5. And he lifted up his eyes and saw the woman and the children, and said, Who are those with thee? And he said, The children. So like you're in 33 and 1. 33. I'm down. I'm verse 5 now. And said unto them, I see your father's countenance. Man, I don't know if these make a difference. That shouldn't be that much of a difference. Let me see this. 31. You got it. Okay. Verse 5. And he lifted up his eyes and saw the woman and children, and said, Who are those with thee? And he said, The children which God hath graciously given thy servant. Verse 6. The handmaidens came near, they and their children, and they bowed themselves. Verse 7. And Leah also with her children came near and bowed themselves. And after came Joseph near and Rachel, and they bowed themselves. So again, this was the meeting, the reunion more or less between Jacob and Esau after many years separation. At least 20 years had gone by when Jacob had left to be with Laban, worked 14 years for Rachel and Leah, and stayed with them several more years after that, accruing goods and helping Laban grow his flock, because he had was like sheep and bulls and all that too. So they were both. He was being a herdsman and helping both sides out. Became kind of too big for that land too, and wanted to separate from Laban. Going through this area, he was going to come through Esau's land. So now he's coming with. He's got his 12 kids or his 11 kids, his 4 wives, all their livestock, all the goods that they've amassed. he splits them up into different groups so that if one were to get attacked, hoping that the other one can get away. So the last time when Esau had sold his birthright and then Jacob had received the blessing from, Jacob had received the blessing from Isaac. Esau was mad about that, threatened to kill him. So this is the first time that they're meeting again after all that incident happened. Now Esau came up to him with 400 fighting men. And Jacob, he's got his servants, he got his handmaids, he's got his flocks, he's got his wives, he's got his children. He ain't got soldiers like that. We've never heard any stories at this point of Jacob fighting. We've just heard him being a husband, being a father, being a herdsman. That's it. Esau coming up to him, we already know that he must have been through some type of battles because he's coming up to him already with 400 strong. So now they meet each other, shedding tears, crying, rejoicing in the moment. But still, Jacob knows to keep him at an arm's distance because of the animosity on Esau's end that he's covering up here. But like the scriptures say, the words are smoother than butter, but war is in their heart. So Esau, one of the partying, the partying atmosphere between them was hostility on Esau's end and reluctancy on Jacob's end. So now again, we're seeing that reunion and just kind of reading through the conversations and the steps that led up to that. Was that the end of those 7?
Con.
I'll read back into the English, Genesis chapter 33, verse 8. Or it's like we're back into the Hebrew in Genesis chapter 33, verse 8. Amar, Maya, Laka, Kal, Hamachana, Hazah, Ashar, Pagashathwa. It's like Pagashathya. Amar, Amatazah, Tan, Bayanya, Adanya. Verse 9. Amar, Aishwa, Yasha, Laya, Ra'ah, it's like Rabah, Achia, Yahaya, Laka, Ashar, Laka. Verse 10. Amar, Yaikwa, Al, Na'ah, Na'ah, Matazaathia, Tan, Bayanyika. Walav Kath, Manakathia, Mayadia, Kaya, Kan, Raayathia, Panyaka, Karaat, Panya, Alahayin, Watharatazanya. Verse 11. Kokat, it's like Kak, Na'ah, Ath, Barakathia, Ashar, it's like Ashar, Aba'ath, Laka, Kaya, Chananya, Alahain, Wakaya, Yash, it's like Yasha, Laya, Call, Waya Patazar, Bawa, Wayakat. Verse 12. Wayamar, Nasa Aha, Wanalaka, Wa'alaka, Lanagadak. Verse 13. Wayamar, Ayuwa, Adanya, Yadai, Kaya, Hayaladim, Rakayam, Wahatazaan, Wahabakwa, Al Yatha, Slaki, Alawa, Alia, what up, Slaki, Wadapaquam, Yawam, Achad, Wamathwa, Call, Hatazaan, was 14. Yaibal, Na'a, Adanya, Lapanya, Ibadwa, Waanya, Athanah, Laatia, La Regal, Hamalaaka, Ashar, Lapanya, Wala Regal, Hayaladim, Aid, Ashar, Abaa, All, Adanya, Shayara. That's those next in Hebrew, going back into the English. Genesis 33, verse 8 through 15.
It's the book of Genesis,
14,
chapter 33, verse 8. And he saw, what meanest thou by all this drove which I met? And he said, these are to find grace in the sight of.
It's like again, my fault. Good, my fault.
These are to find grace in the sight of my Lord.
So, in anticipation of coming across Esau trying to butter him up with a bunch of goods, he had a whole lot of livestock, he had a big flock. So he had broke that up, and he had sent a big portion of that forward. So he had sent them kind of bit by bit to kind of soften the exchange, so that by the time Jacob gets up there, he's already got this many sheep, this many rams, this many bullocks, this many bulls. And kind of timed, if there was any heat or hostility at Esau's end, Jacob's hoping that, this would have been something to kind of de-escalate that. So just giving them those gifts is kind of I don't want to say a bribe, but to just kind of soften them up, and also he'll get, a warm welcoming, a safe welcoming is more so the point to it. But it's like good.
Verse 9. And Esau said, I have enough, my brother. Keep that thou hast unto thyself.
So now Esau, he ain't trying to have it. He's got enough. He's doing good for himself. He's got a whole army behind him. He's got, he's been doing his thing too. So he's not trying to accept it, but keep going.
Verse 10. And Jacob said, nay, I pray thee, if now I have found grace in thy sight, then receive my present at my hand, for therefore I have seen thy face, as though I had seen the face of God, and thou wast pleased with me.
And I was pleased with me. So similar in effect of how when Abraham had went to war basically over Lot, and the king of Sodom, kind of got whooped, and all his goods was taken from him. Abraham had beat those people out. It was like 7 nations or something like that. He beat those 7 kings out, recouped all the stuff that the king of Sodom had lost, and was bringing it back to him. And the king of Sodom was like, no, listen, you can have this stuff. But Abraham refused, except for what it would have taken to replenish the resources that his men had spent. Just that his fighting men are repaid for everything that they had contributed to for that campaign. and so that nobody can take credit for the success of Abraham either. So that the king of Sodom can't be like, he only got rich and powerful because of what I had given him. So in this case too, kind of a contingency or just to kind of have it documented that going through this land, he wasn't just given kind of peace passage out of the kindness of his heart. Jacob had given him hundreds of animals. It is kind of a tribute, it's kind of a payment. And then as it reads, for therefore I have seen thy face as though I had seen the face of God, and thou was pleased with me. It's like even like any time that it can be daunting to have an experience from the Most High, whether it's an angel coming through, the way that he was expecting this to go turned out favorable for him. So instead of having kind of that fear of apprehension, he found favor in Esau's sight. Same way that he had found favor in the Most High's sight. So being grateful for that too, being covered by the Most High here still, so that Esau is not meeting with more hostilities, especially being outnumbered, outmatched like that. As a goodwill gesture, because he had found favor in Esau's sight too. So, and I was pleased with me. So he's a thank you, payment, a tribute. And so that again, Esau can't just say, well, I just let him through. He didn't give me nothing. It was again just it was a kindness of my own heart that I did for my long lost brother, whom I love so much. The last instance that we had of their kind of interaction with Esau being very mad about the situation. So taking it with a grain of salt, Jacob is being very wise in this situation. Keep going.
Verse 11. Take, I pray thee, my blessing. So like my blessing that is brought to thee, because God hath dealt graciously with me, and because I have enough. And he urged him, and he took it.
And he's letting him know, like, listen, this is, the Most High had blessed me, which brother had brought up in Texas recently, how that's kind of I can't remember how he put it specifically, but how he's almost kind of putting that in his face about his success. The Most High had blessed him. When Esau's supposed to be, blessed, supposedly. Esau still got a blessing outside of the one that Jacob had received. But, letting them know, like, yeah, God's with me too. I'm doing very good for myself. So here, you can take this. It's where like I'm good. It's not going to break my pockets. It's not going to hurt me. Here, have this, and just to keep everything on good terms. Keep going.
Verse 12. And he said, let us take our journey and let us go, and I will go before thee. Verse 13. And he said unto him, my Lord knoweth that the children are tender, and the flocks and herds with young are with me. And if men should overdrive them one day, all the flock will die.
So he just, in an attempt to create space between them, he's telling them, like, it'd be kind of dangerous for me to just run the flock like this that hard. He's got young men with him. He's still got a young flock with him too. So instead of driving them that hard, to go from point A to point B, kind of taking breaks in between so that he's not overwhelming the flock in that travel, because they've already been traveling too. So he's kind of, he's telling them that they're going to take it a little bit slow, so that the herd doesn't die out, which would end up killing the entire flock anyway. Keep going.
Verse 14. Let my Lord, I pray thee, pass over before his servant, and I will lead on softly, according as the cattle that goeth before me, and the children be able to endure until I came unto my Lord, unto Sire.
Seir.
Salaki, Seir.
Mount Seir. All right, so you see in the beginning of verse 14, let my Lord, and then he calls him his servant. Like he's saying, he's calling himself Esau's servant. So he's taking the low seat and exalting Esau. Again, appealing to ego, anger, to try to quench that fight. So he's taking the humble, he's taking the low seat. Even though the prophecy was that the older was going to serve the younger. So Esau really is going to be Jacob's servant. But going through this ordeal, being wise about it, why Harlan says a dove, wise as a serpent, Harlan says a dove. Being wise about the situation, taking the low seat, being humble, trying not to stoke Esau's anger. Now, dude may be seething already, but not playing his hand, not showing his true intentions. But kind of undermine it, Jacob is buttering him up with gifts, playing the humble route, calling him sir, kind out of one kind. When we read the words like Adanya up there, he's saying pretty much, kind of how we would say to each other, kind out of one kind. So just playing it cool, keeping everything neutral, keeping any hostilities at bay, and creating distance between them with logical reasoning too, just making sure that he's not overriding the cattle so that they don't exhaust themselves to death. Which appeals to which just appeals logically, just in the traveling sense. But again, Esau can't really complain about that, or even if he had suspect him of suddenly trying to create distance, he can't really say nothing about it, because he does have a large flock with him. They are traveling through rocky terrain. They didn't have the paved roads back then that we got now. Not that we needed that back then either for us to be civilized people. But it's a good argument. It's a good excuse to use in a situation like this to slow down the whole kind of momentum, the whole story. Because Esau would rather just like, listen, all right, grab your shit, let's go. Let's keep it moving. And whereas Jacob's like, not so fast. I got all this. I don't want to exhaust them, override them to death. We're just going to kind of take it easy. And again, that's going to help slow down the whole meeting, create distance between them without causing an outright offense. Without saying to him like, no, I don't trust the ass. I ain't trying to go with you. We're gonna fall back. You can go that way. I'll follow you in like 3 days. But using the cattle as that reasoning to take everything a little bit slow. All right, going back into the Hebrew, Genesis 33:15. Akah, Bazah, Nawa, Lakan, Tahaywa, Makana, Makanwa, it's like Makanwa, Bahmal, Lakan, Call, Sakar, for 16. Wanathanwa, Banathayanwa.
So I
Okay.
on this side.
Oh shit, my fault. What? Big catch. Verse 15. Well, y'all mar. Aishwa. That matches.
Mm-hmm.
Atazayaga. Naa. Imaka. Mana. Ain. Ashar. Athia. Well, mar. Lama. Zaha. Amataza'a, Khan, Bayanya, Adanya. That's that word again, Adanya, calling him Lord. 16. Wayesha, Bayawam, Hahua, Aishua, Ladarakwa, Shayara. Verse 17. Wayaikwa, Nasai, Sakatha, Wayaban, Lawa, Bayah. Wala Mukwanhua, Aisha, Saka, Ayah, Khan, Wara, Sham, Amakwawam, Sakwa. Verse 18. Wayaba, Yaikwa, Shalom, Ayah, Shakam, Ashar, Barataza, Kanaim, Babawa, Mapadan, Aram, Wayachan, Panya, Hayah. Verse 19. Wayakwan, Halakwat, Hashada, Ashar, Natah, Sham, Al-Yuwa, Mayat, Banya, Hamawa, Abiyah, Shakam, Ba'ama, Washayata. Verse 20. Wayad Tazah, like Wayad Tazah, Sham, Mazabah, Wayad Kwara, Lawa, Alahaya, Yashal. Genesis chapter 34, verse 1. Wata Tazaa, Dayana, Ba, La'a, Ashar, Yalada, La Yaikwa, Rawa, Babanawa, Tarataza. That's those 7 in the Hebrew back into the English. Genesis chapter 33, verse 15 through 34 and 1.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 33, verse 15. And Esau said, let me now leave with thee some of the folk that are with me. And he said, what needeth it? Let me find grace in the sight of my Lord.
So Esau in his generosity was going to leave some of his fighting men with Jacob and his family without those fighting men. So Jacob responds like what you need to do that for? I found grace in your eyes. Let's just keep it cool. I wouldn't have wanted the dudes around me either. You got your family, you got your kids, you got your wives. You're vulnerable in that sense. But Esau wanting to keep an eye on things, kind of keeping a hand, in the mix there. Wants to leave some of these dudes that Jacob don't know. That'd be like, getting a police escort and them wanting to leave, a handful of their deputies with us, knowing the corruption in the police force, not knowing those men, not knowing those men individually. It could have been good, who knows? But just the reputation that the police force have, I wouldn't trust my family in their care.
That's right.
So Jacob just kind of dismissing the offer, like no, ain't no need for that. We're good. Keep going.
Verse 16. So Esau returned that day on his way to Seir, Verse 17. And Jacob journeyed to Succoth and built him a house and made booths for the cattle. Therefore, the name of the place is called Succoth. Succoth.
Which just means a spot where they had pitched tents. So again, on their way there, Jacob had stopped and settled in this little area, and just pitched built the house, built some stables for the cattle and whatnot, and he gave it one name. It's not an unusual thing for us to go through a land that's already named and apply our own name for our own journeys. All right, so I'm not sure when we got cut off, but we're just gonna keep going.
It's not that long.
All right. So if I were to travel ahead of Milwaukee, and I'm traveling through Milwaukee and Oak Creek and Cudahy and Racine and Kenosha, these are all places already named. But then I pitch our tents at a spot along the way, and I designated a name. So now, just for us, for the UPK's sake, that spot is going to be known as something else, even though we're going through Kenosha and Racine and already established cities and territories and lands. But we can name something that's significant to us for just for our documentation. Like, if we were to draw a map of the route that I took, you'd say, we stopped here. It was in between Racine and Kenosha. We stopped here and we called it the watering hole for whatever reason, just because we had found a good source of maybe fresh spring water or something. We just called it, all right, we're gonna stop here at the watering hole, and in that way we got a designated spot on our map, so that when we're coming back from Chicago or something like that, we can tell them, listen, y'all make camp at the watering hole, and then they're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about, because we already made something established there. Yeah. So now Jacob doing something similar in effect here. He's setting up a spot, Succoth. So now anytime that they go to and fro and they got to come by this area, he can always tell his people or let his people know, listen, stop off in Succoth, hold camp there. I'll meet you at Succoth. Yeah, I'll meet you there in like 2 days' time. So they know exactly where they're supposed to be, how long to wait, and it's something more intimate to us than instead of, all right, meet me at whatever gas station in Kenosha. We got a separate kind of spot over here. Not a huge, nothing significant necessarily happened outside of him just planting his little flag right there. It's like, you good?
Verse 18, and Jacob came to
Shalom.
And Jacob came to Shalom, a city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan, which he came from Padan Aram, and pitched his tent before the city. Verse 19, and he bought a parcel of a field, which he had spread his tent at the hand of the children of Hamor, Shechem's father, for 100 pieces of money.
So now he's just kind of setting up kind of pinpoints along the way. Keep going.
Verse 20, and he erected there an altar and called it El Elohi Israel.
I believe if we were to look this up, I think that just meant like God is with Israel here, or something like that. Let me just look this up in the blue letter. On the Blue Letter Bible Hub, there's a couple of really good resources where you can check out the definitions. The Zondervan Bible Dictionary. The Zondervan Bible Dictionary is really good at historicity and definitions. And again, those are Edomites. Those are white people that wrote this stuff, but they did their due diligence to make it as biblically accurate as you could. There are some discrepancies in. They're kind of small, but like for example, just in the translations of like ghost and spirit. Like where are we? It's more so the context of the application of the word, but they did a pretty damn good job on keeping it accurate. So now that's at the end. So Aliyah Yashala. Al Aliyah Yashala. So now if you go into the blue letter, open up the tools, scroll down to that. Okay. So again, the Al part is in reference to God, power, strength. So Aliyah is similar in effect, rulers, judges, divine ones, angels, gods, godlike. And then obviously Yashala is the nation of Israel, which means prince of the power. So like for instance, they give Israel the definition of God prevails. But if you break down the name of Israel, Yashala, it translates into prince of the power. So yeah, basically he's just naming that spot like the God of Israel. Like this is designating it as theirs instead of Canaanites naming it after something that would be synonymous with their culture. Yeah, Jacob is giving it something that would match their culture. So again, that in our roads of traveling, it's something that we would be easier for us to identify and be more comfortable in too. Because you can see in a lot of biblical stories, they'll still call it like the land of Moab or the land of Canaan, the land of Egypt, and things like that. Even after we had conquered some of these areas, but it's just the way that he had designated. He bought that land. He can name it whatever the hell he wants. So that's the name that he had put on it. I'll get more clarification on how you would state that location. Eloya, Israel, or Al Ahaya, Israel, Yashala. But it sounds like you just labeling it like this is the for the God of Israel, more or less. So then I think we just got the first verse in 34.
Okay. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 34, verse 1. And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land.
So she goes out unsupervised, as curious young people do, to experience the world on their own. And if you live in any metropolitan city, any urban area, you can see the effects of that behavior and mentality. It often leads to foolish choices. But that's that in English. Going back into the Hebrew, Genesis chapter 34, verse 2. Wayirah, Atha, Shekam, Ban, Hamuah. Hakawiyah, Hakawiyah, Nashiah, Haratazah, Wayakaf, Atha, Wayashakab, Atha, Wayaina. Verse 3. Wathadabak, Napashua, Badayana, Ba, Yaikwa, Wayaha, Hanairu, Wayada Bar, I, the Ba, Hanairu, verse 4, Wayamar, Shakam, Al, Tamawa, Abiwa, La Amar, Ka, La Ya, A, Kaya Lada, Hazaat, La Asha, verse 5, Wayaikwa, Shemai, Kaya, Tama, A, Dayana, Batwa, Babanyawa, Haywa, Kwan Hua, Bashada, Wahakarash, Yaikwa, Ai, Baam, verse 6, Wayad Taza'a, Kamawa, Abia, Shakam, Al Yaikwa, Ladabar, Athwa, verse 7, Wabanya, Yaikwa, Bawa, Man, Sagamana, Hashada, Kashamain, Wayata Aita Zabawu, Hanashim, Wayaka, Laham, Ma'ad, Kaya, Nabala, Aisha, Baya Shala, Lashika, Ba, Yaikwa, Wakal, La'a, Yaisha. Verse 8, Wayadabar, Kamawar, Atham, La'amar, Shakam, Banya, Hashakwa, Napashwa, Babathakam, Danwa, Na'a, Atha, Lawa, La'asha. That's those 7 in the Hebrew. Going back into the English, Genesis chapter 34, verse 2 through 8.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 34, verse 2. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, prince of
the Hivite, which is a Hamitic family. You going?
Prince of the country, saw her, he took her and lay with her and defiled her.
So now this is different than like in Deuteronomy 22, I think it is one of the verses that a lot of people got an issue with because it says lay hold. But if you read through that and apply it, in its context, that's talking about somebody who sees a single sister, hollers at her, begs her, without going through the proper steps of approaching the father, making an agreement, setting up a dowry, making paying that first before laying with the woman. So kind of doing things out of order. That still becomes his wife. They are man and woman. They're husband and wife. He did not violate her. She was not forced against her will, but she was seduced by him. She was captivated by him. You got words that freak people out because of maybe the underlying tone that history has given.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you were to look at like the word that was used in Hebrew in Deuteronomy, like one of the definitions is to catch, is to arrest, is to seize, which sounds pretty harsh, right? Seizing a woman, you're gonna catch a woman. But if you were to seize the day or seize an opportunity, you're not sexually assaulting the opportunity.
Right.
You're not taking the day against its will. So, just applying the right context to the situation, because the verses prior to that in Deuteronomy, that is talking about violating a woman. And that is punishable by death.
That's right.
You can see that later on there was no punishment given to that situation, and there was nothing nasty associated with it. Describing how that interaction went. In this case, we do see something inappropriate going on. She was defiled. Dude didn't just run game on her. He had forced himself on her. He had defiled her.
That's right.
Keep going.
Verse 3. And his soul clave unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the damsel, and spake kindly unto the damsel. Verse 4. And Shechem spake unto his father Hamor, saying, Get me this damsel to wife. Verse 5. And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah, his daughter. Now his sons were with the cattle in the field, and Jacob held his peace until they were come. Verse 6. And Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out unto Jacob to commune with him. Verse 7. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it, and the men were grieved, and they were very wroth, because he had wrought fully in Israel in laying with Jacob's daughter.
And that's talking about interracial marriage. We don't do that. That there's laws against that.
That's right.
In Israel, and that was broken.
That's right.
by that man. Just want to double check something real quick. So give me 1 second. Yeah, so when you look up that word defiled, to be occupied, to be busy with, to afflict, oppress, humble, be afflicted, be bowed down, be put down, become low, depressed,
That's right.
downcast, be afflicted. Humble oneself, to bow down, to be afflicted, or to be humble. To humble, mishandle, afflict, humiliated, afflicted, weakened. That's the context of being defiled, and that's what this devil had done to Dinah. Keep going.
Which thing ought not to be done.
And again, interracial relations. It's not something that was condoned. This is what messed up this is what caused the flood. Interracial relations. And in Noah's day, that's what caused the flood. And that's not something that gets done in Israel. We had very strict guidelines against that. It's like you good.
Verse 8. And Hamor communed with them, saying, The soul of my son Shechem longeth for your daughter.
Oh, but you loved her. You were smitten by her. You going?
I pray you give him to wife.
I'm trying to make an honest, trying to dignify the situation by marrying her off to the man that had defiled her. Keep going.
Verse 9.
I wanted to kill dude.
And yeah, you must be Rapah must be a man after the Lord's own heart. Because guess what happened in a little bit. Keep going.
Verse 9. And make ye marriages with us, and give your daughters unto us, and take our daughters unto you.
So he's damn near trying to force a negotiation, force a truce between them after what had already happened. You can't just give her away now to anybody else, because dude had defiled her.
That's right.
But now he wants to now he wants to make an honest woman out of her after he already committed that offense. Now he wants to make it good. So now, having his family approached Jacob and the brothers to try to smooth it out. And we're going to read about how that was accepted. Was that it? Verse 8.
Oh, just read verse 10.
All right, no sweat. All right, so going back to the Hebrew, Genesis chapter 34, verse 9. Wahata Kathanawu. Kathanawu. Panatikam. The Thanwa, Nanwa, Wa'a. Panatianawu. The Kahwa, the Kam, the 10. Waatangwa, that's like the Shabawa, Waharataza, Tahaya, the Panyakam, Shabbat, Shabawa. Wasakharawwa. Wasakarawa. Wasakarawa. Wasakar Waha. Wasakar Waha. Wahaak. Wahaakzwa. Baha. Verse 11. Wiyamar. Shakam. All. Abyaha. Wa'al. Akya. Amataza. Khan. Bayanyakam. Wa'amar. Ta'marwa. Aliyah. Athan. Verse 12. Harabwa. Aliyah. Ahmad. It's like in Ma'ad. Mahar. Wamathan. Wathana. Kashar. The Amarwa. Aliyah. Wathanwa. Layah. Ah. Anaira. La Shah. Verse 13. Waya Ainwa. Anya. Yakwa. Ah. Shakam. Wa'ah. Kamawa. Abdullah. Rama. Wayadabarwa. Shah. Tama. Ah. Diana. Akhatam. 14. Wayamarwa. Alahainim. La'a. Now we'll call Laishwa, Harbar, Azar, Lathat, At, Khatanwa, Layash, Ashar, Lawa, Irala, Kaya, Harapa, Hawa, Danwa, 15, Ka, Bazat, Nawa, Lakam, the Haiwa, Kamanawa, the Hamal, the Call is the call. All right, let's go 7 back to the English, Genesis chapter 34, verses 9 through 15.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 34, verse 9. And make ye marriages with us, and give your daughters unto us, and take our daughters unto you.
Trying to broker peace between these families now after the offense. Keep going.
Verse 10. And ye shall dwell with us, and the land shall be before you. Dwell and trade ye therein, and get your possessions therein.
Now tying them to their success. Because now if they were to gain any momentum, any prosperity and success out of it, it would have been because they had made this deal, given this land, able to use the land for its resources and grow fat off. So now if at any point they wanted to renege on the deal, they could always be like, listen, we made this arrangement, y'all agreed to it, you got rich off of us. And then they would have been put kind of in the wrong for it if they wanted to go back or if they just disagree with it anymore. So that's a negotiation tactic to gain leverage. Keep going.
Verse 11. And Shechem said unto her father and unto her brethren, let me find grace in your eyes, and what ye shall say unto me, I will give.
So again, trying to sweeten the deal. It's funny. We've got a place there's this place on Center Street called Shechem.
Oh, really?
On Capitol. It's called Shechem. It's spelled the exact same way. It's on I want to say around 20th or 27th in Capitol. I don't know what the hell it is that they do, but it's spelled the exact same way. Ain't too many coincidences like that where people just come up with a random name like, oh, that's just a family name. Now, it is weird though that and kind of more of a common thing that names really ain't got too much meaning anymore, especially in the English or Western cultures.
Yes.
Michael, they don't know what the hell Michael means.
That's
if
right.
you were to ask, not knowing that it has its roots in Hebrew language, Ma'aka'ala.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Means the started angel, or the top of the angels.
There you go. So yeah, that's an angel rank. They're naming their kids this. Don't know what the hell it is. They know it comes from the Bible. They know it's in the Bible, but they don't know the meaning of it. When people name their kids Joshua, they don't know that they're naming them after Yahushua.
That's right.
They're like they don't make that connection. They just think that they're naming them after the Joshua in the Old Testament, and like that's as far as it goes. So a lot of names just it don't carry, family names don't carry that significance, that sentiment like they used to.
Right.
And again, with us, with Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we got our oppressors' names attached to us.
That's right.
I got I got a Spanish name and then some Polak name attached to mine. I don't know none of them, but that's just the way of the world today. So these names back then, had more significance, had more value to the families that kept those names alive too amongst their own. But I just thought it was weird that again Milwaukee's got the Shechem. I got to figure out what the hell it is they do, because that'd be interesting to see what that connection was. But Slacky, good.
Verse 12. Ask me never so much dowry, and gift, and I will give according as ye shall say unto me. But give me the damsel to wife.
He said, name your price. Money's no object. Just give me the girl. Now he wants her to wife. He already, yeah. Because he doesn't want to get blamed for doing something inappropriate. Like it's too late.
Yeah.
You took her innocence. You took her one of the greatest asset that women have. That men and women have too. Like our bodies is. That's not something you can just take back.
That's right.
And he took this from her, but now he wants to go to the family. Now he wants to try to make this right, make it honest, make himself, clean up his mistake, clean up his mess. Keep going.
Verse 13. And the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor his father deceitfully.
They're going to give him Rapah's answer. Keep going.
And said, because he had defiled Dinah, their sister, verse 14, and they said unto them, we cannot do this thing, to give our sister to one of that, to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us.
This is all deceitfully. They're saying these words to him, absolutely, but it's meant with deceit. Keep going.
Verse 15. But in this will we consent unto you, if you will be as we be, that every male of you be circumcised.
So when these guys, when the tribes of Israel were circumcised, they were 8 days old. At 8 days, I don't remember 8 days. I don't know what that world was like, but I'm sure at 8 days when they snipped it, I cried. That sucked. It hurt. It's, as men, we can understand that at any age, how that can be discomforting and how much more, unsettling that prospect is as an adult with be more conscious of the environment and what's actually going, about to take place down there. The sensitivity level is different with the awareness. If you were brain dead or, very fresh out the womb, you're not gonna, you're gonna notice, you're gonna know that it hurts. You're gonna know that it's just unpleasant. And then that's it. You're gonna get over it. And your memories for shit when you're 8 days, they can't focus for nothing. So that's kind of a fleeting moment. That lasts a little bit longer the older you grow. Moments like this. If any brother has been kicked in the uprights, it's that stays with you physically and mentally. You're always going to remember that feeling to avoid it in the future because the pains and aches that come with that. So now they're deceitfully talking to the father about circumcision, sharing the token of the covenant that the Most High made with their family with these devils. Now, that was a physical token to set us apart from everybody else. So now, like in Abraham's time, when the steps of the covenant were established like that, everybody in his house was to get circumcised. So that was going to show that allegiance, that covering, of the house that they're associated with. The Amorites weren't going to have that token. The Sodomites weren't going to have that token. The Hivites weren't going to have that token. But the house of Abraham was going to have that. Isaac was going to have that. Jacob was going to have that. The tribes of Israel was going to have that. So now deceitfully, they were going to make this bargain with this father and his family and their tribe, knowing the vulnerability that this was going to put them in. As any man, you can what's the word I'm looking for? You can sympathize with the situation, knowing that you're going to be sensitive after such an ordeal. Especially back then, like there's always been like anesthetics, painkillers and things like that, which are all, they're going to make you loopy, they're going to make you drowsy, they're going to make you physically, weaker. To cut off those pain receptors, it has that effect on you. Drowsiness, fatigue, your mobility is affected, all that, your concentration, your focus, your hand-eye coordination, all that. So it's, again, deceitfully given this as kind of the terms of their negotiation. So that was the end of that in English. Going back into the Hebrew, Genesis 34, verse 16. Wa Nathan wa ah. Banatyanwa Lakam wa ah. Banathan, it's like Banathan Yakam. Nakah Lanwa Wayashabanwa Athakam Wahaya Yanwa La'ain Achad, verse 17. Wa'am La'a Tashamaywa Yanwa the Hamawal Wala Kakanwa. Bathan, it's like Bathanwa. Yeah. Wahalakanwa. Verse 18. Wayaya Tabwa. Wayaya Tabwa. The Bar Yaham. Bayanya. Hamwa. Wabayanya. Chakam. Ban. Kamawar. Verse 19. Wala'a. Athar. Anayir. Laishwat. Adabar. Kaya. Kapataza. Baba. Baba. Yanekwa. Wahua. Nakaba. Makal. Baya. Abdua. Verse 20. Wayaba'a. Kamawar. Washakam. Banwa. All. Ayat. Shlaki. Sha'ayir. Ayaram. Wayadabarwa. All. Anashya. Ayaram. Lamar. Verse 21. Ha'anashim. Ha'ala. Shalamim. Ham. Athanwa. Wayashabwa. Ba'arataza. Wayasakarawa. Atha. Waha'arataza. Hana. Rakaba. Yariyam. Lapanyaham. Bayatham. Nakah. Lanawa. Lanashim. Wa'ath. Lanathyanwa. Nathan. Laham. Verse 22. Akar. Baza'ath. Ya'athwa. Lanwa. Ha'anashim. Lashabath. Thanwa. Lahaiwa. La'ain. Achad. Bahamawal. Lanwa. Kal. Zakal. Kashar. Ham. Namalium. That's the end of lower 7. Back into the English.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 34, verse 16. Then will we give our daughters unto you, and we will take your daughters unto us.
Yeah, after you get snipped. Well, yeah, we'll agree to that. Yeah. Good.
And it's like and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people.
Yeah, we'll do all that. That sounds good. Just do this first. Do this first real quick. And then, yeah, everything that you said. Yep. Uh-huh.
Yeah, all right.
Just do this first.
Yeah.
After this, then we'll do that. We'll do that after you do this. Keep going.
Verse 17. But if ye will not hearken unto us to be circumcised, then will we take our daughter, and we will be
I
gone.
mean, if you don't want to do it, you ain't got to do it if you don't want to do it. But yeah, take it or leave it. Good.
Verse 18. And their words pleased Hamar and Shechem's Hamar's son.
So now that's just I want to say, like, in their mind, they got over. In their mind, they were about to because now they get all the daughters. They can give their daughters up. They're not worried about that. They get daughters for their sons. and they get to appear as though they are that they were, how would I say, that they're innocent of any misgivings or of any offenses, any charges.
Mhm.
Because of a deal well struck. So for them, it's an easy arrangement. Knowing it's just going to be temporary. Maybe they never been kicked there before. I don't know. Maybe they don't know what that feels like. These guys, I don't know. I can't see any dude not being familiar with how the sensitive, nature of that area. But they were willing to go through with it again, thinking it's a success, it's a win for them, and they get to keep their image clean. Keep going.
Verse 19. And the young man deferred not to do the thing, because he had delight in Jacob's daughter, and he was more honorable than all the house of his father. Verse 20. And Hamor and Shechem his son came unto the gate of their city, and communed with the men of their city, saying, verse 21, these men are peaceable with us. Therefore, let them dwell in the land and trade therein. For the land, behold, it is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us for wives, and let us give them our daughters.
So again, they're thinking it's a win, and they're calm. They're about to gain more prosperity off it. Again, they're the ones that control the land. That they're about to take in these guests too. So all the credit's going to go to them at the end of the day. If Jacob and his family, are successful in this endeavor, the credit's still going to go to Shechem and his family, because they're the ones that actually own the land that they're on. It was their bright idea to strike this deal with them, to smooth everything out, and how would I say, to end up dominating this family. They already defiled the daughter. Now that they're going to try to go for the whole tribe after this. Mm-hmm. Keep going.
Verse 22. Only herein will the men consent unto us for to dwell with us, to be one people, if every male among us be circumcised as they are circumcised.
We just got to do this one little thing, and then we get everything. All right, that's the end of that. 22. So we're back into the Hebrew, Genesis 34, verse 23. Sluggy. Oh. Makwanaham. Wakwanyanam. Wakal. Bahamatham. Halawa. Lanwa. Akah. Naawatha. Laham. Wayashabwa. Athanya. Verse 24. Wayashamaywa. Al. Kamwar. Wa'al. Shekam. Banwa. Call. Yatazaya. Sha'ai. Sha'ai. Ya'irawa. Wa Yamalwa. Call. Zakar. Call. Tazaya. Sha'ai. Sha'ira. Select. Sha'ira. Ya'irawa. Verse 25. Wa Yahaya. Bayawan. Ha Shalayamya. Bahaya Watham. Ka'abiyam. Wa Yakahwa. Shanya. Banya. Yaikwa. Shamaiwan. It's like Shamaiwan. Wala Waya. Achia. Dayana. Ayash. Harabwa. Wayabaawa. Ay. Ha'ayar. Batach. Waya Haragwa. Call. Zakar. Verse 26. Wa'ath. Kamawar. Wa'ath. Shakam. Banya. Haragwa. La Paya. Kara. Wayakakwa. Ath. Dayana. Mabiath. Shakam. Wayad Tazaawa. Verse 27. Banya. Yaikwa. Bawa. Ay. Hachalalim. Wayabazwa. Ha'ayar. Ashar. Tamaawa. Kawatham. Verse 28. Taza Slack. Tazaanum. Wa'ath. Bakwaram. Wa'ath. Hamar Yaham. Wa'ath. Ashar. Ba'ayar. Wa'ath. Ashar. Ba'ashara. Lakahwa. Verse 29. Wa'ath. Call. Kayalam. Wa'ath. Call. Tabam. Wa'ath. Nashiyaham. Shabai. Slightly. Shabwa. Wayabazwa. Wa'ath. Call. Ashar. Babiyah. It's like it kind of. So we still got a little bit to go. Want me to cut it short? Kind of. You're on the ball. So I'm no crash. All right, that was those 7 in Hebrew. Slakia, we do have to cut this short. So we'll just read this in English real quick, cap it off, and then we'll cut it loose. Go ahead.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 35, Slakia, chapter 34 and verse. What's this?
23.
23, Slakia. Shall not their cattle and their substance and every beast of theirs be ours? Only let us consent unto them, and they will dwell with us. Verse 24. And unto Hamar and unto Shechem, his son, hearken all that went out of the gate of his city, and every male was circumcised, all that went out of the gate of their city, of his city. Salaki. Verse 25. And it came to pass on the 3rd day, when they were sore, that 2 of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brethren, took each man his sword and came up the city boldly and slew all the males.
So now what they did was unlawful. They were right in the spirit because their sister had gotten violated. And the penalty of doing such a thing is death. But they carried it out with carnal. But such is the nature of love for your people when they get wrong. Go ahead.
Verse 26. And they slew Hamor and Shechem his son with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah out of Shechem's house and went out. Verse 27. The sons of Jacob came upon the slain and spoiled the city because they had defiled their sister.
Yeah, so I mean, they do the deed. I mean, it's like, well, we don't want all this stuff to go to waste. Now, I mean, everybody's already dead. What are they gonna do with it, right? Go ahead.
Verse 28. They took their sheep and their oxen and their asses and that which was in the field. Verse 29. And all their wealth and all their little ones and their wives took they captive and spoiled even all that was in the house.
So again, just the way that they had approached it was carnal. It would have that would have been murder, but what they had done would have been murder. The Lord did not give them authority to make such a move, but they did it anyway based off of their anger and the offense that was made to their daughter or to their sister, Slat. Which is why it's so important for us to, keep a hedge around our kids, because it can be. How would you expect a father, a brother, to not take action when their loved ones get harmed like that? That's a hell of a position to be in. I can't say that I would have been a better man. And that's the cost. Which is why, again, it's so important that we keep to our culture, that we uphold our standard of living. The laws that govern us in this Bible is to make us, better, a better people, better society.
That's right.
The moral authority, the judicial authority,
That's right.
The overall authority on earth. Everybody else, every other nation that has used this Bible to the best of their abilities or manipulation, they've prospered off of it because they stick to themselves, which is what the Bible instructs Israel to do.
That's right.
Stick to ourselves. So we'll get it. This story is almost over, but we're going to see about kind of the outcome of this whole thing, the hurt feelings, just the end result of it. But like with that, we are going to call the Sabbath service. We're going to salute out and join us next week. For the next Sabbath service, Saturday, 10 a.m. Hanukkah getting ready around the corner. Lord's 56th annual Passover in Atlanta coming up April 12th. Get all your travel arrangements, get your lodging arrangements, save us some extra scratch on the side for all the vendors, all the food. If you go and check out the sites of the city. So get ready for that too. Get in contact with the school near you to, if you need any accommodations or if you have anything that you can contribute. With that, man of Israel, Amaju. Salute to the brothers, man of Israel, man of Shabbat, Amaju, Barak, Yahweh, Yad Matah. Salute to the sisters, men of Israel, Mighty Shabbat, Amaju, Barak, Yahweh, Shamar, Allah, Ba'ashim, Yahweh, Sabbath.